Well, hello, everyone. If you are here watching this right from the very beginning, I'm pretty sure that you know who I am, but I will introduce myself. My name is Debbie Prediger, and I am the founder of the Be Extraordinary Women's Network, the host of the Be Extraordinary Women's Network show, and I am the creator of the Shine Circle. Alongside of Jenny Reyes and myself, we've created the Leadership Momentum Accelerator program. And what we're doing here is parts and pieces of what I already do is I'm elevating and creating opportunities for leaders to be seen, to be heard, to be valued, to be understood for what they bring, and creating, opportunities for them to truly shine. I always say I am here to support the leaders of leaders. I believe that we weren't meant to do this alone. And if each one of us has an audience, wow, that's amazing. But let's get you out and be connected to other people that have the same similar audiences. I don't believe in competition. I believe in collaboration. And so here we are today. Jenny Reyes will be joining us in just a minute, but I'm going to bring up our very special guest, Lani. Hello, hello, hello.
And aloha.
Aloha. Hello, Haley from Utah. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. Now we're live streaming to Facebook, Instagram, not Instagram, LinkedIn and YouTube right now. And so we would love to hear from you because it helps us see where you're coming in from. But Lani, I named this whole live stream is what happens when you finally say yes to the message inside of you.
Yeah.
And I did that because it feels to me like that's one of the main things that people are saying to us is that I just have this message, I have this calling, I have this mission on my heart. I don't know how to get it out there to the masses so that I can do and create the impact that I know I'm here to create. Does that feel like you?
Yes, there's been a message inside of me for a very long time. And I think I didn't even realize how long it had been there until I started connecting with the Be Extraordinary Women's Network and the Shine Circle.
Well, thank you for saying that, because the Be Extraordinary Women's Network is a free community for women where we spotlight and celebrate extraordinary women making extraordinary moves across the globe. Now, they may or may not be an entrepreneur. They may or may not think of themselves as a leader yet, but hang around us for long and you'll soon realize that we're planting the seeds to show you that indeed you are a leader. You're a leader of yourself. You're a leader of your family, your inner circle, and then you're probably the go-to person in your community. And that is also leadership in my way. So tell me a little bit about that experience of coming into our community and what started to happen when you were in there. When did you realize?
It was, first of all, it felt like there was a mutual connection in the message that everybody was sharing. So it felt very aligned, very safe. It didn't feel competitive. I didn't have to really, in the beginning, I just was hearing what everybody else was saying. And slowly started to sort of reply or, participate a little bit more. And then it just, again, everything just started to feel more and more aligned. The language that was spoken by you and everybody else participating sounded like the language that I use, that I'm comfortable with. The vision that people had for their own place in leadership, and not even, like you said, not necessarily like the boss of a company or entrepreneur, but leadership in their own way. And for me, that was really like we could each do it our own way and still have a voice.
Wow. I think you hit on something that's really important in our leadership Momentum Accelerator program that Jenny Reyes and I do together, which congratulations for joining that program with us. But one of our core messages is how do we pull out that beautiful uniqueness within you? Because some people, you know, my whole shine framework is some people kind of dim their light in order to fit in. And other people are standing there waving and saying, look at me. And what we're teaching inside of the Leadership Momentum Accelerator is how to do both, how to stand out, be unique, have full clarity on what makes you unique. You know, the positioning, the life's experiences that you went through, the words that you say, the phrases that naturally come out of you. How do we pull those things out of you so that you might be serving the same exact audience as me or Jenny or even 10 other people in the room? But we're showing you and building up that clarity so that you can stand on your message. And when we do that, it's not about collaboration. It's not about scarcity. It's not about, oh my God, what if the person right beside me is speaking in the same thing? One of the most powerful things that I love to do is create conversations, summits, panels, experiences. And all I do is give the topic, and everybody brings their genius and their lived experiences and their stories. And now we have a powerful, powerful way of representing ourselves. And people walk away and say, I'll remember Lani forever because of that story. So you shared a little bit about, you know, you've been on this journey for a long, long time, and you hadn't fully realized how much of a story was still there burning and really desiring to be heard and to have a bigger impact. Let's talk about that message that you have.
Well, as you were talking, I remember there was a I think it was a connect call or exchange in the Be Extraordinary Women's Network that a question came up, and I don't even remember the question, but the response from everybody in the room connected to caregiving. And for me, that was sort of an indication that the message that I was carrying about caregiving was universal, and that we all have an experience there. And that for me, it was, it first revealed itself in a powerful way. In sharing the message was when I was able to write my first book 3 years ago. And seeing the impact that that had on people just affirmed that I was headed down the right path. It affirmed that the message that I was carrying about not just caregiving, but self-care and in the wellness space was where I was supposed to be. But I think with that, I was trying to find a way to sort of get to that broader audience, that see the one-on-one impact was very powerful. And how do I expand that to help more people? And so this has been the vehicle that has helped me open those doors. And it really, I don't believe in coincidences. I call them God incidences, the universe guiding us and directing us, and connecting with the Extraordinary Women's Network and the Shine Circle started happening at the same time that I was writing my second book, Beyond the Horizon. And really affirming that, again, that going beyond what I had started, sharing that message beyond horizons that I even may not even know, just became more and more affirmed. And so saying yes to the Leadership Momentum Accelerator was just like, okay, now's the time. I've been sort of trying different avenues over the last 5 years, figuring out what that space was and what that direction was. And this, again, the best word I can, well, several words that kind of helped me say yes was alignment, clarity, that it just like the vision has become clearer, but even broader. It's like, I think we talked about this the other day, is that I don't, now I'm open to what I can't even envision.
Mhm.
What I thought was the vision is now even bigger, and I'm open to where that might lead.
You know, I love this so much. So we have done the Leadership Momentum Accelerator twice before. This is our third cohort that we'll be starting here in March. And one of the things that we often see is that these aren't people that are just starting out and trying to figure out who they serve. They actually probably know who they serve and they know why, but they haven't allowed themselves to dream a little bit bigger. And the extra clarity is, why is this important and why now? And so you have been doing this for decades. This isn't something that you're just starting into. You have been a facilitator, a teacher, a mentor, a guide, an author, sharing your speaker. You've been sharing your voice around the world. So why now? Why? I know that you've said there's like breadcrumbs, let's call them breadcrumbs, that have said this. But why you, at the age and the season you're in, why is this so important?
I think, first of all, it's part of um, a legacy that I feel that I have a responsibility. In Hawaiian, we call it kuleana, to share that the lessons that I have learned in those decades, um, again, are universal, but not everybody hears them or receives them the same way. And so there's enough people on the planet that there's enough people that will hear it my way. And so this is just, for me, it feels like the right tribe to be with, to deliver it to a wider audience. That I've been in other, or I've participated in other paid for other programs that were more entrepreneurial. Um,
Mm.
but this one just felt more inclusive, more cohesive, more comfortable for me to say yes.
Well, I love that. I love that. Hi, Jenny. So just before I turn it over to introduce Jenny, and then you can ask a question, I love it too. I'd love to just talk a little bit about the things that we talk about, because I love, words really matter. They have their own energy, they have their own vibration. They either invite or evoke a reaction in you. And so the things that we talk about all the time is, it starts with clarity, it starts with awareness, it starts with you. And there is room to be more clear, to allow more of your vision and your dreams to come in. And Jenny and I love to pick up on that. And what we say with that is, the alignment brings out this confidence that allows you space to actually speak the real dreams, the real reason why behind your message. And often we can be saying, well, it's to sell my book, or it's to get on more stages, but there's always another level, at least one more level into that. And we love pulling that out and then making it simple to come back in. And in the end, it's consistency and congruency. Alignment is where we want to feel that everything just naturally flows. We're magnetic, but without that congruency across our brands, we're probably only reaching a tenth, or even a tenth of a tenth of the people that we're actually meant to reach. So I think this is fascinating conversation. What happens when you finally say yes to the message inside of you? Thanks for joining us, Jenny.
Thank you for having me too. Hi, Lani. Congratulations. And I'm so glad that you're joining Debbie and I for this next cohort of the Leadership Momentum Accelerator. That was part of the juggling we were doing today. As we know, the juggle is real. And hello, everybody online. I can see some comments coming through, and I'm happy to be here and connect with Lani and you, Debbie, as always. And, let's happy to flow with the conversation. I'm sure you've already spoken about several things and why Lani is with us and what made her jump and say yes. And hopefully it's an inspiration as well to anyone that's listening to choose themselves.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, to choose you. We create these beautiful opportunities. Everything that I do, and Jenny is right there with me, everything we do is invitational. But it starts with awareness so that you can actually see yourself in that vision, in that leadership role. And so for us, creating spaces where leaders get to shine, where leaders get more confidence in their voice and their message, where we can introduce you to other platforms and communities and stages, that's the ripple effect. So I would love to hear from you, Lani, and then we'll just weave Jenny back into this conversation of what has been part of the ripple that you've already witnessed by being in our world. Not so much leadership momentum, because we're just starting that, but being in our world. What ripple effect have you witnessed?
First of all, it's being able to connect with like-minded women. And again, not that we're all sharing the same message in the work that we do, but we're all in alignment with this energy that is created here. That again, it feels safe to be yourself, to ask questions, to say what you think you have to say, and then have people that you feel trusted or feel trust in give you feedback on that. And I think that it's that even if the feedback is designed to kind of challenge you a little bit, it still feels like a safe place.
I'll let you talk to that one, Jenny.
Well, yes, absolutely. And I mean, I believe that's something, sorry, Winter as always is agreeing. But I do believe that we've created or Debbie, you've led and created such a space where all the women know that we're out here for everybody's highest good and, help with the evolution. And so there's no judgment, there's no blame, there's no shame. There's always celebration, and the feedback really with that intention is meant to help you get more clarity. I feel like we just keep going back to that, right? It's really that objective look at something that could be very subjective, and for you to help make that discernment to go, okay, let me take that and see how I can filter it, because this feels aligned to me, this doesn't feel aligned to me. And I feel like that's the underlying trust and the unspoken trust. And it's also something that Debbie always shares and said that, it's not always the things that you say, but all the things that are unsaid. And a lot of the people that come in and work with us have those nerves, or what Debbie now calls the wobble. I am building my Debbie dictionary and my Debbie definitions. I'm going to call it the Debbie definitions. And it's the wobble, right? And sometimes it's okay, because the world sometimes teaches us that when we wobble, we've got to figure it out. But here, the wobble is, it's okay to wobble, because we'll hold you there and we'll help you. And then you get to make that decision for what comes next. So I hope that helps speak to it too, Debbie. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll let Lani talk, repeat back to you or whatever, but then I want to talk about that gap that opportunity, because I think that there's so much there. So Lani, go ahead.
So when she said that wobble and, holding people in that space, I think I've seen a couple people in the Be Extraordinary Women's Network and in the Shine Circle actually come to a place where they thought they knew what the vision was. And then being here, like you said, it brings more clarity. And it's like, oh, I really don't need to do that. I need to move into this direction.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, for me, all of that, just hearing from other people going through that experience, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm not messing this up. I'm not going in the wrong direction. I just needed someone to point me in the right direction. Or give me the tools or the next step. For me, it's always been about simple steps. Like if somebody gives me this grand goal, it's like, that's great. Or we have this big vision, but I'm the kind of person that I need organized a direct path. You can change the path as long as you give me the steps to get there. So, it's like, this feels like the place where I can move, not necessarily faster, but again, without a lot of stumbling blocks or things in my way.
Well, and Debbie, before you say something about the gap, I think that's exactly, it's almost like it's not necessarily like we'll give you the steps, but here are options. What feels most aligned to you? It goes back to that because we recognize you already know and you already have it. And sometimes you just feel like, I just need somebody to tell me it's okay and to hold my hand through it. And because none of us, we all don't have a crystal ball. If we did, I feel like we'd have different decisions, right? But who wouldn't use their crystal ball in this day and age? But then knowing that if you take these steps, there are people there, and when you say, "Oh, well, that didn't turn out the way I had expected it," that's okay. That's more information. Or, yes, that was absolutely awesome. How do I do it again? Right. And that's kind of what we like to hold people in. And there's always a gap. There's always more to be and more to learn. And then more information that comes. So Debbie, I'll give the stage to you now.
Well, I think that like we'll wrap this up, but the bow is that I have witnessed thousands and thousands of women that thought they had their program, their course, their offer. But I could feel there was more, or I could feel there was another level. And although I've helped many people create courses or workshops or programs, if you get to the end and you think you've designed that perfect program, and then you grow as a leader, you've seen the gap, you got more clarity, you got more confidence, you took more action, you've seen that there was another level of an audience or a stage of the audience in which you really love to serve. That's the gap. You didn't believe that those were for you because you didn't believe that maybe you were the leader to lead them through that. So we're helping you with the activation. We're helping you see yourself as that leader that somebody is praying for. That the life's experiences you have is way more important than the credentials that you might carry. And so when we do that, and then we hold you in this beautiful container, it starts to unfold naturally. And as Jenny said, there's a wobble, and we are waiting for the wobble. We wouldn't be pushing you or nudging you far enough if we didn't get a wobble. And when we get the wobble, we step back, we hold you, we create that clarity again in that safety of what's the truth here. Because we're used to doing this alone. And maybe you've never named it for yourself, but there's a whisper in your head saying, I don't think I can. I don't know if this is the right move. And so when we identify, and one of my gifts is I actually get to hear your whispers before you do. It's part of my genius. And so I don't need to tell you what to think. I need you to be aware of those voices, to be aware of the resistance, to be aware of the opportunity, so you can make that empowered decision, and so you can truly shine. And I think that, Lani, if I really go back of all of the times that you've been in the room, and I have watched you have an awareness and a deeper connection to yourself and your mission, it has been because you felt seen and heard and valued and had a safe space to share the vision behind the vision, or the dream behind the dream. And so that's really what I wanted to say here. And I'm going to pass it back to each one of you to just say your last aha before we go.
Well, a couple of things that I just wanted to touch back on. You said, life experience. And I remember when I finished my bachelor's degree, which was later in life, and was looking for job positions. And I was told that I needed a master's degree to have the credibility in the field that I was working in. So I went and got my master's degree. And so I have those letters after my name. And as I then experienced life, and people kept asking me, was I going to go back for a PhD? And I thought, I don't think so. I think I've had enough of school. But that to find value in my life experience. And I finally got to the point where I said, if you need letters after my name to give me credibility, you can put BT, DT. Been there, done that. So there you go.
I love that.
Yeah. So I just think that we all have these life experiences, and sometimes they intertwine or cross over or connect. But again, each one of us has our own voice that someone else in the world needs to hear. That not everyone's going to hear the message the same way. And like I said, there's plenty of people on the planet for us to bring our message to the world.
Oh, what a mic drop moment. Been there, done that. Now, I'm raising my hand that I want to learn from somebody that's been there, done that, instead of the person that read it in a book. Yeah. Jenny, what about you? What's your message for everyone?
Well, I'm grateful, first of all, that Lani is in this space with us, because as much as I know that we have our gifts, Lani has hers too. And I'm so excited for us to learn together and be there for one another. Again, you've been there, done that. I'm raising my hand for that. And, and I love that we get to do this. And be a part of each other's journeys, because it's very enriching both ways. And so I'm excited for all that's to come. And and my hope and invitation for everybody that's listening is to do that for yourselves as well. It's like, what's the question you need to ask of what's my next highest leverage move, so that I can share my been there, done that experiences, to quote from Lani. And yes, she is amazing. Haley, that's right. And Magali is here as well.
Oh, I love it. So as we close this off today, we really wanted to celebrate Lani, which we are. If I had confetti on this, on Zoom, we have it, but I don't. So here, let's just throw it. Balloons, whistles, all the things for joining us. The other part is that I believe that everyone has a yes inside of them. I believe that everyone that's here understands the power of listening to the nudge, to the ripple, to the invitation that my words are that your soul is inviting you into, to help you remember how important your message is. I believe that you have had your life's experiences for a reason. Lani called them God quinces, I believe is the term. Instead of coincidence, they're God quinces. And it's incidents. Thank you. It's the nudge that says what you went through wasn't for punishment. It was so you could lead others. And I get chills as I say that, because that's really the why behind why I do what I do, is I never want you to be the best kept secret. I know from my lived experience is that someone is praying for you. And if we can help elevate you and position you and get your branding, your inner world and your outer world so consistent and congruent that more people can find you, then we have done our job. And that really, I'm so grateful to have the gifts that I have that I can share with others and co-create this with Jenny. It really, it's easy and it's beautiful.
Well, thank you for creating this space for all of us.
My pleasure.
Yay, we're happy to. Awesome.
Okay, I'm closing it out. It takes a second.